One day, having wandered some distance among gloomy rocks, I came to the entrance of a great cavern. Two contrary emotions arose in me, fear and desire. Fear of the threatening dark cavern and desire to see whether there were any marvelous things in it. Leonardo da Vinci. For those who seek the hidden keys to the universe, symbols are not mere ornaments of thought, nor idle curiosities of forgotten ages. They are maps, sacred diagrams veiling the great mysteries, revealing only to those who possess the patience to decipher their silent language. But are you one of those seekers? Let's put that to the test. Centuries ago, an aspiring alchemist asked his master, Basilius Valentinus, "What is the secret of alchemy?" The master replied, "In vitriol is the answer." What is the nature of this cryptic formula? Is it but an obscure relic of medieval thought, a riddle meant only for those who labor over alembics and furnaces? Or does it conceal something far greater, a path to the very heart of the great work, the ultimate transmutation not of metals, but of the soul itself? Through the sacred science of alchemy, vitriol has been understood as a formula of descent, an instruction to turn inward, to traverse the depths of one's own being in search of true immortality. It is a cipher, its meaning layered in secrecy, known only to those who dare to undertake the journey of self-transmutation. A journey that leads beyond the illusions of the world, beyond the falsehoods of the outer senses, into the radiant core of being itself. This journey has been spoken of in many tongues, concealed within the esoteric traditions of antiquity. It echoes in the emerald tablet of Hermes Trismegistus. It is mirrored in the sacred diagrams of the alchemists, who understood that the transformation of base matter is but a reflection of the higher transmutation, the perfection of the self. So, what lies within this ancient symbol? What wisdom does it conceal beneath its 7 sacred letters? Does it hold the key to the fabled philosopher's stone, the elixir of immortality sought by sages and seekers alike? Or is it something even greater, an alchemical doctrine, encoded not for the transmutation of lead into gold, but for the revelation of truth itself? Take heed, this is no idle study. The knowledge you are about to receive is an initiation, an invitation to walk the path of the mystics, to gaze beyond the surface of things, to perceive what has been hidden since the foundation of the world, but kept secret from the masses. But the time has now come to reveal this knowledge to the world. This is probably the most important video I have ever made, so make sure you watch it till the very end, for many treasures await you in every chapter. So, with all of this out of the way, let your initiation begin. Welcome to Agrippa's Diary, the gathering place for mystical seekers. Within the cryptic symbols of alchemy, wisdom is rarely given. It must be sought, uncovered, and earned. Nothing illustrates this truth more profoundly than the sacred formula of vitriol, a word that is not merely spoken, but contemplated, meditated upon, and ultimately lived. Vitriol is an acrostic, its letters forming a riddle written in the sacred tongue of the alchemists. Inscribed within ancient treatises, etched into the walls of secret lodges, chambers of reflection, and hidden within the folds of medieval manuscripts, it stands as a silent guide, a signpost pointing to the path of inner transformation. Visita interiora terrae rectificando invenies occultum lapidem. Visit the interior of the earth, and by rectifying, you will discover the hidden stone. At first glance, this phrase seems to speak of a physical journey, perhaps a descent into the earth, a mining of minerals, a search for gold. But the wise know that in alchemy, all things external are but reflections of the internal. The earth that must be entered is not of soil and stone, it is the self. The cavern is the soul, and the hidden stone is the divine essence concealed within. To visit the interior of the earth is to turn inward, to seek beneath the layers of illusion that bind the mind to the transient world. It is an act of excavation, a descent into the subconscious, into the dark recesses of one's own nature, as Carl Jung beautifully put it, where truth lies veiled beneath the rubble of falsehood and ignorance. But mere descent is not enough. The formula commands rectification, purification, refinement, and reordering of what is found. The alchemist must not only uncover the raw material, but must subject it to fire, must dissolve and purify, must separate the coarse from the subtle, until at last the hidden stone is revealed in its radiant perfection. What is this hidden stone? The philosopher's stone of the sages, the elixir of life, the true self unbound by illusion. It has been given many names, but its essence remains unchanged. It is the perfected state of being, the awakened consciousness, the luminous core that the profane world cannot see. It is the divine spark buried within the chaos of matter, waiting to be unearthed, waiting to be transmuted. In alchemy, the below, there are 7 metals. In astrology, the above, there are 7 planets. In each of us, there are 7 chakras. It's also of vital importance to note that the stone is a reference to the stone of the philosophers. But beware, this is not the same as the philosopher's stone. The rectification is what changes the one into the other. Please keep this in mind as we explore the symbol. Throughout the ages, this same teaching has echoed through the sacred traditions. It is the journey of the adept in the Hermetic mysteries, the Freemason, the Sufi, and the Rosicrucian, the descent of the mystic into the underworld, the dark night of the soul that precedes illumination. It is the path of transformation, known to all initiates, concealed behind symbols, veiled in allegory, and yet ever present for those who have the eyes to see. But to hold the key is not enough. One must turn it, open the door, and walk the path. The alchemists did not write their teachings plainly, nor did they hand wisdom freely to the unprepared. Instead, they concealed their secrets within symbols, figures, and allegories, veiling profound truths in emblems that could only be understood by those who had trained their minds to perceive beyond the surface of things. The symbol of V.I.T.R.I.O.L is no exception. It is a diagram, a mandala of transformation, holding within it the entire mystery of the great work. At first glance, the vitriol diagram appears as a collection of strange and seemingly unrelated images, planetary symbols, celestial bodies, hands emerging from clouds, and cryptic shapes arranged within a sacred circle. But as with all alchemical figures, these elements are not arbitrary. Each one is an encoded instruction, an aspect of the alchemical process, revealing the nature of spiritual and material transmutation. To decipher this symbol is to unravel the hidden path to enlightenment. Allow me to offer you this precious gift. I promise this will be of great value to you on your path. The circle, the boundary of the great work. The outermost shape of the V.I.T.R.I.O.L emblem is a circle, enclosing the entire design. In alchemical symbolism, the circle represents unity, wholeness, and eternity. It is the infinite cycle of creation and dissolution, the cosmic Ouroboros devouring its own tail. More importantly, it signifies the completion of the magnum opus, the final stage of alchemical transmutation, where the base and impure are purified into the perfected state. For the alchemist, the circle is both a protection and a challenge. It represents the boundary between the uninitiated and the enlightened. Those who remain outside the circle see only a meaningless arrangement of symbols, while those who step inside and engage in the work begin to perceive its hidden order. It is the enclosure of the sacred laboratory, the vessel within which transformation occurs, whether that laboratory is an external space or the interior of one's own soul. The two hands emerging from the clouds, the forces of polarity. Within the circle, two mysterious hands emerge from the clouds, each pointing towards a different planetary symbol. These hands are not simply decorative, they are a fundamental aspect of alchemical teaching. In Hermetic philosophy, all things exist in polarity, light and darkness, heat and cold, masculine and feminine, expansion and contraction. These dualities are not in opposition, but in a dynamic balance, each force necessary for the function of the other. The hands in the V.I.T.R.I.O.L emblem symbolize these guiding principles that direct the alchemist's path. One hand points towards Saturn, the cold and heavy planet of restriction, discipline, and dissolution. Saturn is the lead of the alchemical process, the starting material of the great work. It represents the base, unrefined state, both in terms of literal material and the state of the unawakened soul, which is weighed down by ignorance, fear, and illusion. The other hand gestures towards Jupiter, the planet of expansion, wisdom, and transformation. Jupiter represents the refined state, the elevation of the soul beyond its limitations. If Saturn is the beginning of the journey, Jupiter is the guiding light that leads the alchemist forward. The presence of both in the emblem signifies the necessity of understanding and balancing these polar forces, not clinging to matter, Saturn, nor dissolving into pure spirit, Jupiter, but bringing both into harmony. The sun and moon pouring into the chalice, the sacred conjunction. At the top of the diagram, the celestial bodies of the sun and moon pour their essence into a chalice, a vessel standing at the very center of the work. This is one of the most vital and sacred alchemical images, representing the ultimate goal of unification. The sun and moon have always been regarded as cosmic opposites, the sun representing the active, masculine, and fiery principle, and the moon symbolizing the passive, feminine, and watery principle. These two forces must be brought together in perfect equilibrium. In the alchemical tradition, this is known as the conjunctio, the sacred marriage of opposites. It is the merging of spirit and matter, consciousness and subconsciousness, the higher and lower aspects of the self. The chalice beneath them represents the vessel of transmutation, the container in which the alchemical wedding takes place. This container may be the alchemist's physical laboratory, but more importantly, it is the human soul itself, where this sacred union must ultimately occur. The sun and moon pouring their light into the chalice is a direct reference to the alchemical axiom solve et coagula, dissolve and reunite. One must first dissolve the impure, separate the opposites, and then bring them together in a purified and exalted form. Mercury holding the chalice, the divine mediator. Beneath the chalice stands Mercury, the hermaphrodite, the one who is neither fully masculine nor fully feminine, but who contains both within itself. Mercury is the great mediator, the force that unites the sun and moon, the bridge between above and below. In alchemical texts, Mercury is the most elusive of substances, described as both a metal and a spirit, as both physical and immaterial. It is the universal solvent, the prima materia, and the transforming agent of the work. Without Mercury, sulfur and salt remain forever separate. Without Mercury, there can be no transmutation. The placement of Mercury in the V.I.T.R.I.O.L diagram emphasizes its role as the key to the process. It is the secret ingredient that makes alchemy possible, both in the laboratory and within the soul. To understand Mercury is to understand transformation itself. The imperial globe and cross. At the heart of the diagram is the imperial globe and cross, a symbol often overlooked but of immense significance. The globe represents the earth, the material realm, while the cross atop it signifies spiritual dominion over matter. It is a symbol of mastery, the sign that the one who possesses it has successfully undergone the alchemical transformation, becoming vitriol itself. You will see this symbol often depicted in paintings of kings, emperors, great bishops, and popes. That is not by accident. For thousands of years, secret societies have sought to create great leaders using the paths of ars regia, and ars sacerdotalis, the lower and the greater mysteries, in order to take a great man and make him even greater. They have all solved the riddle of vitriol, and therefore seen the light. While some became great men, others became tyrants. But that's a story for another time, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Anyway, the imperial global and cross represents the philosopher's stone itself, the union of matter and spirit, the perfected state of being. In esoteric Christianity, the cross above the globe is associated with Christ as the Rex Mundi, King of the world, who has mastered both the heavens and the earth. As previously mentioned, the process involves a descent, an ascent, receiving the gifts of perfect consciousness, and another descent, which is the rebirth. A threefold process. In alchemical terms, it signifies that the work has been completed, that the transmutation is successful, and that the divine and the earthly have been fused into one. The symbol as a roadmap to transformation. Every element in the vitriol diagram serves a purpose. It is a coded instruction manual, a visual representation of the entire great work. It begins with the circle, the enclosure of the mystery. The journey is directed by the hands of divine polarity, leading from base matter to refined wisdom. The sun and moon pour their energies into the chalice, uniting opposites. Mercury, the agent of transformation, the mediator, stands at the center, and at the heart of it all is the globe and cross, the final achievement of the work. You will notice other elements in the diagram, such as the three shields, the monad, the chains that bind them, and the two globes. The shields stand for the three alchemical principles of sulfur, lion, salt, the seven-pointed star, and Mercury, eagle. Salt is the body and sulfur is the soul, while Mercury is the great medium, holding together both body and soul. The qualities of salt are multiplicity and action. The qualities of sulfur are unity and will. The qualities of Mercury are duality and wisdom. We must combine all these qualities for effective and successful living. Our three vehicles are a differentiated unity. Note that alchemical Mercury is related to astrological Mercury, but they are not the same. If we change our point of view, we can take the chalice as the element water, the lion as fire, the eagle as air, and the star as earth. Finally, there are two spheres, heaven and earth, that emphasize the polarity of the above and the below, which must also be united. You can see these two spheres inside Masonic lodges atop the two pillars, named Jachin and Boaz. By now, you should already know what they stand for. In the very center is a ring that we often associate with the monad, which symbolizes the microcosm inside the macrocosmic circle. The one is all and the all is one, linked by the chain of unity. To look upon this symbol with the eyes of the uninitiated is to see only a collection of lines and shapes. But to those who seek the inner meaning, it is a map of transmutation, a guide to the deepest mysteries of existence. This is the language of the alchemists, the veiled speech of the sages, and the key that, when turned, unlocks the doors of inner realization. Now, if you enjoyed this breakdown of the symbol, I have great news for you, fellow mystic. The wait is finally over. After 1 year of intense research, my course, The Lost Secrets of Alchemical Symbolism, has officially launched today. If you've ever wanted to truly understand the esoteric depths of alchemical symbols, this is your chance. For the first 300 students, the course is available at an exclusive 50% discount. But be warned, the price will increase every 24 hours until all spots are filled, which I guarantee you will happen fast. This ensures I can personally guide you through the material and address any questions you may have. Once these spots are gone, new ones will open in the future, but not at this initial launch price, and certainly not for a while. If you were on my waitlist or a member of my Patreon study group, you should have already received an early access email 48 hours ago guaranteeing your spot. If you haven't acted on it yet, Now is the time. Don't wait until it's too late, for in a just world, we offer no exceptions. The course currently includes 10 in-depth modules covering the theoretical foundations of alchemical symbolism, alongside practical exercises to test your knowledge. A new module will be unlocked every week at no extra cost, ensuring you have enough time to integrate the teachings at a steady pace. So once you buy this course, you get to have access to it forever. If you're truly serious about deciphering the hidden language of alchemy, unlocking its wisdom, and taking your spiritual journey from exoteric to esoteric, don't miss this opportunity. Secure your discounted spot now before the price increases again. The link to the course can be accessed in the pinned comment, the video description, or by following the link on the screen. The most profound transformation of your life awaits. Now, back to the video. To understand how vitriol functions as an alchemical process, we must first look at the 7 planetary metals, each corresponding to a different stage of transformation. These metals are not simply physical substances, but archetypes of spiritual states, each one a reflection of a particular aspect of the alchemist's inner world. Lead, Saturn, the beginning of the work. Lead is the heaviest and most impure of all the metals, representing the base, unrefined state of both matter and consciousness. It is the condition of the uninitiated soul, weighed down by ignorance, bound by limitation, entrapped within illusion. In the vitriol process, this corresponds to the first step, the descent into the depths of the self, where the impurities of the soul must be confronted. Tin, Jupiter, the expansion of wisdom. Jupiter is the planet of higher learning, growth, and expansion. In alchemical terms, tin represents the beginning of refinement, the stage where the initiate seeks knowledge, wisdom, and spiritual elevation. Here, the alchemist begins to separate the subtle from the gross, questioning illusions and striving toward a greater understanding of the self and the cosmos. Iron, Mars, the trial by fire. Mars is the planet of strength, struggle, and purification through conflict. Iron, its metal, symbolizes the necessary destruction of falsehoods, the severing of attachments, and the forging of a will strong enough to withstand the trials of the work. This is a phase of purification by fire, where the impurities of the mind and soul are burned away. It is often experienced as an internal battle, the struggle between the higher and lower self. Copper, Venus, the harmonization of opposites. Venus, the planet of beauty, love, and balance, brings with it the principle of harmony. Copper represents the process of reconciliation, where the inner conflicts awakened in the Mars stage begin to resolve, leading to a greater integration of the self. In vitriol, this is the stage of acceptance, where the alchemist learns that true transformation is not in destruction alone, but in the merging of opposites, the masculine and the feminine, the solar and the lunar, the seen and the unseen. Mercury, Quicksilver, the agent of transformation. Mercury, the great hermaphrodite of the alchemists, is the most mysterious and volatile of all the elements. It is both physical and ethereal, both material and spiritual, capable of dissolving and reuniting all things. Here, the alchemist reaches a point of fluidity and adaptability, the ability to navigate between realms, between the conscious and subconscious, between the spiritual and the material. This is the threshold of true transmutation, the point where the alchemist begins to glimpse the reality beyond illusion. Silver, Moon, the reflection of inner illumination. Silver, the metal of the moon, is pure, luminous, and reflective. It corresponds to the higher self, the aspect of consciousness that is illuminated by wisdom. In this stage, the alchemist undergoes inner purification, stripping away the last veils of illusion and preparing for the final stage of the work. The moon is a mirror, reflecting the light of the hidden sun, just as the initiate, through purification, begins to reflect the divine light within. Gold, sun, the attainment of perfection. The final metal, the goal of the alchemical process, is gold, the perfected state, the philosopher's stone achieved. It is the state of enlightenment, immortality, and divine realization. Here, the alchemist becomes the magnum opus itself, no longer seeking the stone, but becoming the stone. Vitriol and the emerald tablet of Hermes. The process encoded within vitriol is not unique to one tradition. It is echoed in the most ancient and sacred of alchemical texts, the emerald tablet of Hermes Trismegistus. The tablet proclaims, "That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to accomplish the miracle of the one thing." Here we see the very essence of our symbol, the descent into the depths, the below, leading to the realization of the divine, the above. The hidden stone, the goal of vitriol, is nothing less than the one thing spoken of in the tablet, the secret of unity, the completion of the work. The emerald tablet further instructs, "Separate the earth from the fire, the subtle from the gross, but with great judgment and skill." This is the very process described in vitriol, the rectification, the purification of the self, the dissolution of the base, to uncover the refined essence beneath. And finally, the tablet speaks of the final stage of the work. It ascends from the earth to heaven, and again it descends to the earth, and receives the power of the above and the below. This is the mystery of vitriol completed. The transformation is not only a rising beyond the material world, but a return to it in mastery. The true alchemist does not escape reality but perfects it. He becomes the bridge between above and below, a conduit of divine wisdom manifest in the world. He becomes Hermes Trismegistus itself, Kerm and Kur-Om, Tubal Cain, or Hiram Abif, the keepers of the mysteries. The ancient sages taught that within man lies a hidden structure, an internal alchemical furnace where the great work is performed. The body is the temple and the house of God. This structure is the subtle body, an energetic framework composed of centers known as chakras, spiritual wheels that regulate the flow of divine energy. Though originating from the mystical traditions of India, the chakra system shares remarkable parallels with the sevenfold nature of alchemy. The chakras are levels of awareness, each corresponding to a specific stage of purification. Could it be that the formula of vitriol, concealed within the cryptic language of the alchemists, describes not only a metallurgical process, but a method for awakening the dormant energies of the soul? To answer this, we must overlay the structure of vitriol upon the 7 chakras, and examine how each Latin word in the formula correlates with a specific energy center and planetary metal, revealing a hidden doctrine of internal transmutation. The vitriol acronym consists of 7 words, and just as there are 7 chakras, 7 alchemical metals, and 7 planets, each stage of the formula aligns with an aspect of human consciousness, unlocking deeper layers of the self. This alignment suggests that V.I.T.R.I.O.L is not only a guiding formula for material alchemy, but also a meditative path for awakening the divine spark within. Each step corresponds to a specific energy center, guiding the initiate through the 7 levels of spiritual purification. The sun, the giver of life, represents the heart, the center of spiritual awakening. This is the point where the seeker begins the journey, feeling the call of inner transformation. The gold of the heart is latent, awaiting refinement. The heart chakra, Anahata, is the seat of love, harmony, and higher purpose. It is the gate to higher consciousness, and in alchemy, it represents the moment the philosopher awakens to the path. Without opening the heart, the journey cannot begin. The moon, ruling the unconscious mind, corresponds to the brow chakra, the seat of intuitive perception. The seeker must look within, entering the depths of their own mind, uncovering what lies hidden beneath the surface. The silver of the moon is reflective, mirroring the true self. The brow chakra, ajna, allows one to see beyond illusion, to comprehend the hidden mechanisms of reality. At this stage, dreams, visions, and synchronicities intensify as the inner world is explored. Mercury, the divine messenger, rules over transmutation and fluidity, governing the crown chakra, the connection to higher wisdom. Here, the seeker glimpses the oneness of all things. The crown opens, and the intellect dissolves into intuition. Mercury is both the agent of change and the prima materia, the substance that allows for the merging of above and below. The solar plexus chakra is the center of personal will and power, and it is here that the seeker refines the lower self, purging impurities. Jupiter, the planet of wisdom, brings expansion and understanding of the higher laws. The solar plexus chakra, Manipura, refines raw energy, preparing the initiate for the trials of transformation. The work cannot progress without discipline and purification. The sacral chakra, Swadhisthana, is ruled by Mars, the force of creation and destruction. This is the stage where the false self is burned away. Iron, the metal of Mars, represents strength and struggle. The seeker faces their deepest fears, desires, and attachments. This is the phase of inner alchemical fire, where what is untrue is destroyed. The most painful and hard part of the journey, where the seeker's will to accept the truth is tested. The throat chakra, Vishuddha, ruled by Venus, governs the expression of higher truth. Here, the seeker begins to speak from a place of divine wisdom, for he has come to know himself. The copper of Venus is an alchemical balancer, allowing the spiritual and material to exist in harmony. The initiate learns the power of the word and the ability to create with thought and speech. At this stage, manifestation powers may occur depending on your intentions and will. At the base of the spine lies Saturn's lead, the foundation of the work. It is here that the seeker, having descended and rectified, finds the hidden stone. The root chakra, Muladhara, holds all latent energy, waiting to be activated. Saturn teaches patience, endurance, and mastery over material existence. The initiate completes the cycle, now capable of ascending to the higher realms by activating the pineal gland, with mastery over the lower, opening the third eye, and becoming a master and wielder of the sacred fire. From the ancient sanctuaries of the Hermetic philosophers to the clandestine chambers of the alchemists, vitriol has stood as a symbol of profound mystery. It is more than an inscription hidden in medieval manuscripts, more than a cryptic phrase whispered among initiates. It is a doctrine of transformation, an invitation to those who dare to look within. Through the course of this journey, we have seen how vitriol is not merely an alchemical axiom, but a spiritual roadmap, a formula for the great work of the soul. It encodes the entire process of transmutation, guiding the seeker through the descent into the depths, the trials of purification, the revelations of awakening, and the ultimate realization of divine perfection. It is the path of dissolution and refinement, of struggle and wisdom, of inner death and rebirth. The alchemists, in their veiled language, concealed this truth in symbols and allegories, knowing that only those prepared to walk the path could ever hope to understand. They knew that transmutation is not an external process, nor is the philosopher's stone a mere object to be held in the hand. The hidden stone is the perfected self, the realization that all one seeks lies not in the material world, but within. The fire that refines, led into gold, is the same fire that purifies the soul. Vitriol is a challenge. It is a call to abandon superficiality, to reject complacency, and to step beyond the illusions that bind the mind. It asks of the seeker courage, the courage to descend, to confront the shadow, to face the self without deception. It demands perseverance, for the work is not completed in a single moment, nor is enlightenment a mere intellectual pursuit. It is a trial by fire, a journey through darkness, an ascent toward the luminous truth. But the reward is great. To walk the path of vitriol is to uncover the lost and greatest wisdom of the ages, to gain mastery over the self, and to perceive reality as it truly is. It is to witness the veils of illusion dissolve, to stand at the threshold of the eternal, to become the bridge between the above and the below. The ancients spoke in riddles, but their message remains clear. The stone you seek is hidden within. Rectify yourself, and you shall find it. The work is never truly finished. The path does not end. But for those who dare to undertake the journey, vitriol will always illuminate the way forward. The secret lies not in a final answer, but in the path itself, in the ongoing transformation of consciousness, in the living realization of the most sacred truth. The answer has always been within us. And that's all for today, fellow mystics. If you enjoyed this journey, consider sharing it with other seekers, giving it a like, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel for more esoteric and occult content. Together, we can spread this knowledge and awareness to every corner of the world. And don't forget, The Lost Secrets of Alchemical Symbolism is out now. Spots are filling fast, so if you're ready to decode the hidden language of alchemy, now is the time. Link in the pinned comment and video description. Remember, we all have a part to play in this great work, and your support helps illuminate the path for others. Also, if you'd like to deepen your journey, consider joining Agrippa's Inner Sanctum, our Patreon study group, where over 800 fellow mystics gather to explore hundreds of esoteric texts and materials. Booking a one-on-one consultation or grabbing Monad from Gallowglass Books using the affiliate link in the video description or pinned comment. Thank you for being a part of this mission and for your unwavering support. As always, continue to seek out the light. Hen to Pan.